Okay, now you can see it. You can see, okay, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Today we have rules related to creating meaningful and positive language teachers to play the role of needs assessor, including learning about students' language learning, history, goals, study habits, customs, okay, learning strategies, and language learning styles. They suggest teachers okay, I suggest them to interview students. Very important to interview students to know his skills, to know his proficiency, for example, in language. Ask them to complete questionnaires, استبيانات, and observe what they do and say. This is something general.
ماكو شاشة ما طالع.
Here, the writer says that I use journals to learn about the students. Journals to know about students. Dialogue journals. What is the form? Yes.
أستاذ محمد صوتي قاطع والشاشة ما صوت أستاذ.
لا. تمام هسه اوكي تسمعونه واضح هسه ان شاء الله
واضح أستاذ واضح
تمام I talked about roles, general roles, okay, and I said that the writer said that I use dialogue journals to learn about students and journals. What dialogue journals? What is dialogue journals? Are like informal letters written back and forth between the students and the teacher. This is general information. Mute it. The teacher can also take on the role of text adapter. This is this role, another role that the teacher can play, text adapter. Text means the textbook adapter. He adopts the book itself. The textbook and the teacher's manual become the teacher's main resource, but the text does not ever provide enough ways to promote the kind of interaction the teacher wants to have in the classroom, of course. To foster genuine interaction, teachers must go beyond the text by adapting materials and activities to the lesson in the text or introducing new activities unrelated to it. Okay, so here it means that the text adapter, the teacher can follow the book. Like me, for example, now I'm following the book. Okay, and not only you have to follow the book, you have to go beyond the book by bringing certain things, for example, unrelated. For example, games, role plays, movies, TV shows, songs, readings, etc. Here we have summary. Here there is a translation. كان ترجمة هنا وأنا غطيتها. Help me. Okay. تمام صوتي واضح. Clear. My voice is clear.
Yes.
واضح أستاذ واضح.
Good. Another role the teacher can play to promote interaction is that of classroom management. To manage a classroom, we need to be able to, okay, then نقاط. We need to be able to what? Engineer the amount of classroom talk we do. It's very important. You have to engineer control the amount of classroom talk we do, manipulate your questioning behavior. You have to manipulate them. Control the way we give instructions. You have to control. Orchestrate group and pair work. Keep learners on task. Keep them on task. Make language comprehensible to students. Your language should be simple, and we'll talk about this point. Handle effective variables of classroom life. Another role that the teacher can play is the role of entertainer from entertainment. Okay, يعني شخص اللي يمتع, someone who entertains, يونس, يضحك. Some students are good at getting us to tell stories about ourselves and others, tell jokes, okay, and even sing. EFL, ESL students can be great audience, laughing at jokes, attentively listening, and encouraging us to continue, while some of us will strongly argue that our job is not to entertain. Some of us see value in teachers' roles as entertainer because it can lower the students' level of anxiety and increase their level of comprehension. It is very important. So here, a teacher, the role of entertainer, the role of joker. But don't be joker. Be careful if you are joker. Okay, be careful to be joker. So here it means that inside the classroom, sometimes you need to be fun, to be funny, to tell certain stories, funny stories, but not all the time. Okay, not all the time to tell jokes and laughing, smiling all the time. No, you know that teachers have to be serious. Okay, most of the time you have to be serious. Okay. And in certain points, certain situations, you have to tell jokes to break the mood, to change the mood, to make it good, to reduce, lessen, قلل anxiety. Okay, that is inside the students. Very, very important. I have a lecture on YouTube how to control the classroom. Okay, and I talked about this point, that the last point I remember 13 points about these details. If you want to know more and more about this idea, you can go and see the video. So this is, in short, the roles of the teachers. Okay, text adapter follows the text, entertainer telling jokes, okay, and certain points we talked about. Now we come to what the problems do some EFL, we teachers, what the problems do we face when teaching English as communication among people? This is very, very important. We as teachers, what are the problems? What are problems do we face? You as teachers, you will face the problems. In this book, there are 3 problems. Of course, we have a lot of problems. If we want to go to the internet, to Google and search the problems that the teachers face when teaching English as a second language. But here we have 3 main problems. Number 1, bandwagon problem. Number 2, the overly anxious problem. Number 3, the engagement problem. What is the bandwagon problem? The bandwagon problem. Bandwagon, this is term, مصطلح, term. The bandwagon problem. One problem of teaching language as interaction between people can occur in a classroom nowadays. at our schools when teachers jump on the latest methodological bandwagon. I start ما فهمتها. Don't understand. Okay. What is jump on a bandwagon? What is bandwagon? Bandwagon, it means to float or swim with the stream or go with the crowd. What does it mean in Arabic? شي قابلة بالعربي هاي. To flow or swim with the stream. To join the parade. Go with the crowd. Who can tell me? In Arabic, when you say this, what does it mean? What?
النظريات.
No. I mean this word. Go.
النظريات.
No. I mean
عصرية أو شاعر.
No. Go with the crowd.
تفسير كل نقطة.
Float on the stream.
يصير مع الموجة أو هيك.
Good. Yeah. Okay. You in your book, selected reading, you have follow the suit with a passage. Okay, there is a passage, and there is a word which is follow the suit. Follow the suit. Suit تجي سترة كذا بدلة. But here follow suit is what? Is idiom مصطلح. Here it means. What does it mean? Bandwagon. It means that in Arabic حشر مع القوم عيد. Okay. حشر مع القوم عيد. It means that the teachers follow the suit. Teachers go with the crowd. مو حشر مع القوم يعني crowd. Okay. Follow the suit, go with the crowd. Here, you as students, for example, when you graduated from college and you go to schools. Here, when you go to schools, اكو عندنا طالب اسمه فاضلة عبد الرحمن فرحان. اكو عندنا هيك اسم؟
لا أستاذ ما.
لا أستاذ ما عندنا.
تمام. شلون حصلت الرابط؟ تدخل راح ارفضها. فاضلة المهم. Here when we go to schools, when we want to teach, we as new teachers. Most of Iraqi teachers, because they are new, what they do is that they go to the teachers, to the experienced teachers, to the old teachers, and ask them how to teach inside the classroom. How to teach inside the classroom. Those teachers will tell them that you have to teach, you have to do this and this and that. So those new teachers, when they go to class, they will do what's told by the old teachers. Here there is a problem. Why? Because here, when you ask a teacher, maybe this teacher is not good. Maybe this teacher does not follow the rules, does not follow guide, يعني دليل, does not have a plan, does not have the correct ways of teaching, or does not follow the methods, the ways of teaching, the methods, the ways of teaching. Maybe this teacher just focuses on grammar. Now, any one of you go to certain pages on Facebook and ask this question, for example, what can I do? I am a new teacher. Who advises me, okay, what to do? You will see the comments. Many old teachers will give you a lot of opinions, their opinions, their ways of teaching. Okay, their subjectivity. They are subjective, not objective. يعني مو موضوعيين ذاتيين. They follow themselves. So this is a problem. Maybe you, as a new teacher, you have good ways of teaching, good methods. You have learned them when you were a student. Maybe you just need advice, not to apply what others do inside the classroom. As I told you, it is حشر مع القوم عيد. Okay, when you go to school and you find all teachers are translating, speaking Arabic, so you ask them what to do inside the classroom. They will tell you, you have to do this and this. You will go to class and you do what others do. This is a problem. Why a problem? Not all teachers are good or are following the methods of teaching. So this is problem. You have to be careful when you go to school. You are studying this book. You know about teaching. You have seen teachers. So when you go to school, you just need advice. You just need to follow the procedures. إجراءات يعني. Follow the book. Follow guide. You have guide. Okay. You have guide. You have a book. Teacher's guide. Follow this guide. Don't follow yourself. You are not a guide. But some teachers think that they are guide and God. Guide and God. Okay? They think they are guide and God. They are better than everyone. Though some teachers, when you go to school, this is wrong. You have to follow the guide, follow the ways, the methods of teaching, how to teach grammar. If you don't know how to teach grammar, go and search how to teach grammar, how to teach reading, how to teach listening, how to teach speaking, how to teach all these 4 skills. This is very important. What you need from all teachers is just advice, okay? Or you can discuss with them and follow what you have learned. This is bandwagon problem. You see? See, I just explain it here. Just I explained all this. I explained. You can read it and take whatever you like. You see here, while Bandwagon provide us with idea about teaching possibilities, confidence, company, and techniques, they may not liberate us to be able to make our own informed teaching decision, and they could stop us from genuine interaction in the classroom. Okay, maybe they are good sometimes. Maybe they put us in safe side, make us confident because we are doing what other teachers do, but will not liberate us. ما راح تحررنا to be able to make our own decision, our own informed teaching decision. Okay, we will not be able to do what we want to do, what we want to follow. I mean, here following the procedures, following the guide plan, and could stop us. You see, stop us from genuine interaction, creative interaction inside the classroom. You see, this is very important. You have to be careful. Don't forget this point. Put it in your mind. Never forget it. Very important. Number 2, the overly anxious problem. From esteem, قلق يعني. Anxiety here, it means a state of apprehension. Okay? يعني قلق. Fear, خوف. It is associated with feeling uneasiness, self-doubt, apprehension, or worry. هذا معناته التعريف. There are reasons for teachers to think about why students are anxious. Less students anxious. Why? Sometimes you find this problem inside the classroom, that your students are anxious. Fear. Okay? They are afraid of something. عندهم خوفة. Why? You see here. They here, very important, inability to pronounce sounds and words. You see, some students do not able to pronounce, to speak, have mispronunciation, so they are what? They are anxious, not knowing the meaning of words or sentences. Not knowing. Inability to understand and answer questions. Some of them do not understand you and do not be able to, or they are not able to answer your questions. Reputation of language class as a place for failure. Okay, reputation سمعة يعني. Some students, when they go to the classroom, this classroom, that they have reputation that it is difficult, they will fail. Be a criticism, you see? Okay, criticism from your classmates. Not knowing or understanding course goals or requirements. Do not understand goals, requirements. Okay, they don't understand why they are here. What will understand? So your role as a teacher, you have to tell them that in this year you will be able to know this and that. Testing, especially oral testing, they are afraid of oral testing. They are anxious. Previous unsuccessful language learning attempts, you see, encountering different cultural values and behavior, etc. High levels of anxiety can inhibit students from interacting with the teacher and classroom or classmates. Here, the writer tells us about his experience. I have observed particularly high levels of anxiety in many different teaching settings, but especially in EFL setting where students do not have much experience interacting in English. You see, when students do not have much experience. In fact, anxiety can create so much apprehension that some students cannot function normally. You see, as we said, most of us have experienced such debilitating anxiety. The teacher asks a question in the new language. All we can do is sit, heart slightly racing, mouth slightly open, staring at the book or the teacher, nothing coming to mind. You see, now, for example, sometimes when you ask students, what the students do, they just disappear, okay, behind their students. They start to looking at book. Here, how can we limit? How can we reduce? شلون نقلل هذا الانكزايتي؟ عندنا problem. Students are anxious, don't want to speak English. They are afraid of criticism from their classmates. They can't understand. Here there are things we can do to possibly reduce this. For example, they don't need criticism on their language performance. They don't need criticism on their language performance. Don't criticize them. Rather, we must show understanding. When a student expresses idea, we can use an understanding response by really listening to the students and paraphrasing back what he or she said. You see, very important. They don't need criticism. Don't correct for them. Even when they make mispronunciation, don't correct immediately. This is very important. Now, when you go to school, when some students say something, they make mispronunciation or grammatical mistakes. Don't correct them immediately. مو مباشرة نصحح. Just give them time. When they finish, you can't tell them at the end of the lecture, some of the students have made these mistakes, 1, 2, 3. Okay, very important. Okay, and here, as I said, you have to express an idea. We can use understanding, يعني تجاوب وياهم by listening, paraphrasing إعادة صياغة. Paraphrasing not only can provide a way for students to reflect on his or her on language in an uncritical way, but can also improve understanding. When we constantly and sincerely work at trying to understand students' meaning without expressing verbal or non-verbal judgment of the language used, as I told you, don't make verbal يعني verbal شفهية, non-verbal using gestures, إشارات, مو نقول له مثل خطأ, no. Okay, just when a student is speaking, just you have to listen to him. He or she makes mistakes, no problem. It is okay. For me, sometimes when some students participate, I don't correct for them. Why? If I correct for them, they will be anxious. Next time, they will not participate. So let them speak. Don't make judgment, verbal or non-verbal. What is the result if you do so? A positive, trusting relationship between the student and teacher can develop. Very important here, okay? One that also reduces anxiety about being in a class, in a language classroom. You see, this is very important. How to reduce the classroom. Don't ألخص لك إياها بهالكلمتين. Don't make judgment, verbal or non-verbal. Okay? Don't make judgment, verbal or non-verbal. Don't criticize your students. Immediately, مباشرة. You can do next time. When, for example, at the end of the lecture before it finishes. Here we have example about what in Korea and Singapore. You can read this example. The last point, the engagement problem. Engagement. شنو معنى engagement؟ مو معناته خطوبة. اوكي؟ engage يخطب وengagement مو خطوبة. معوزين. engagement هي مشاركة. Okay. Yes. Engagement problem. I think it is easy for you when we talk about these points. Why? Because it's familiar for you. Familiar. You are familiar with these things. You know this. You as students, most of you do not want to engage. They don't engage. Why? We have this problem that students don't want to engage. They don't want to participate inside the classroom. Promoting interaction in classroom requires the teacher to step out of the light and yell to the students so that they feel free to interact with the teacher and each other. However, this is not easy for some teachers, as Rivers puts it. Never having experienced interactive classroom, teachers are afraid it will be chaotic and hesitant to try. Adding to this problem are students' attitudes. So we have this problem that some teachers are dominated or are dominated. Okay, remember Yushi and Kathy when we said that Yushi is dominate, is the center, okay, of the class. He does everything. So some teachers do not give any role for their students, just they want to speak. Why? They are afraid that it will be chaotic, حتكون فوضى, okay, and they are hesitant, or they are hesitant to try. يعني متردد ما يريد يحاولون هاي المحاولة. هاي problem engagement. For teachers, for students quietly often come into our classroom with little experience in initiating and participating in interaction in English. Okay, and this is also for students. Students, they don't have experience in initiating, how to initiate, how to start, in starting and participating, okay, in interaction inside the classroom, interact inside the classroom. As such, they will also hesitant to interact. متردد يعني. Afraid things will become out of control, frenzied, or embarrassing. Okay, some of them think that they are embarrassed if they participate. You see, they don't want to engage. they are related. Of course, they are anxious. Some of them do not have experience in participating. To avoid this half engagement problem, to avoid this problem, I remember I brought this in exam. جبتها بالامتحان النهائي. To avoid this فراغ, it is our responsibility as teachers to provide an atmosphere conducive to interaction. How to avoid? In order to avoid this problem, أنا دكتور شلون؟ In order to avoid this problem, it is our responsibility as teachers to what? To provide an atmosphere conducive to interaction. Okay, I think we finished with this. Okay, if you have any question, you can ask. I will stop recording. Okay, نقدر نحملها.